Don't try to make up. It's too late.
Do you know how late, Dylan?
So late it's early. All the Welsh and Welsh stars are about to slide shut like the lid on a spice tin. That's a 6-star, Cat. That one. I'll tell you how you can tell. It's shining brighter than every other star. It's about to explode.
It's cold down here on the beach.
As a witch's tit.
You be sure to take out insurance before you get on the plane.
I have insurance. My poems will bring in an income for years.
2 shillings, rain or shine.
Nobody asked you to marry a penniless poet.
Well, somebody must have. It isn't something I could have dreamt up all by myself.
What have you got on under that cheap imitation dog's fur?
My bikini.
In February. You're out of season. Go up and change.
I won't.
You will.
I'll do as I bloody please. The only bit of fun I get these days is to put this thing on and parade myself around the boathouse, imagining myself to be married to a man who could afford to take me to a warm climate.
Like to hell?
Or Mallorca.
Oh, you're very grand.
I come by it very naturally.
Naturally. Your father was a friend of Augustus John. Here we go.
Who's had precious few intimates, and he's a very famous man. Why, the whole world knows who Augustus John is, and his portraits fetched a very fancy price and still do to this day.
I can't help it if an ignorant civilization sets more store in a painted patch of pocky canvas than it does by a singing art. I'll come off better than he will in 1,000 years.
It takes too long.
Look at the Bible.
Look at the pyramids.
You look at the pyramids, I'll look at the Bible.
Nobody in Wales, nobody in your hometown even knows who you are.
Well, how do you ask for me?
I go about saying, who here knows my husband, Dylan Thomas, the poet?
Well, no wonder. I'm not known as the poet in my hometown. I'm known as the drunk. It's my principal ambition. What do you want to be, young Dylan, when you grow up, my father would say to me. And I'd say, Daddy, I want to be the drunkest man in the world.
Yeah. It's the thing you do best. Where were you all night? And your last night home, you scum!
You knew where I was. You might have joined me. I was at Brown's Hotel having a brew or two in Ivy Williams' pub, enjoying your absence and the company of some of my earthy friends. Real people, people who work, who dig ditches, fishermen, whores, the kind of people Christ used to pound.
Oh, Christ.
That's it. Shut your profanity to the bloody time.
I suppose you entertained the lot of them describing the battle royal we had in the afternoon.
Not at all. Why should it have come up? Though I must say they did find it middling strange that just before her husband's embarking on a distant journey to America, that a wife wants no part of his last legal, last legitimate offer to pin her down flat and happy on a flip-flop and neck.
Not in the afternoon.
And why not?
Because it's not proper.
We always used to do it in the afternoon.
A lady does it at night.
Or blindfolded.
So you spent 12 hours discussing our private sex life with whores and fishermen, did you?
I wasn't discussing our private sex life. I was using the third person the whole way. I was referring to it along the lines of, would a woman wed to a man for 2 goddamn many years and with 3 children?
Yeah, 4 counting you.
Well, I never once let on it was my own story. Isn't the tip of your nose frosted? The tip of something of mine is. Come on, let's go to bed.
I'd rather die first, you scum!
You say you scum once more and I'll kick you right in the teeth. Now, I know the real reason you're up in arms. Or not up in my arms, not up and down in my seesaw arms.
Stop singing!
It's my going away tomorrow. Or today, I should say, to be active.
Dylan, if you go to America tomorrow, I'll never go to bed with you again.
Don't make threats you can't possibly keep, Cat. You know how not to be denied, either.
Not in the morning, not in the afternoon, and not at night.
Because all college girls in America are whores.
You get syphilis right on the campus.
Yeah, driven to it from sexual neglect.
They wear bobby socks and no panties.
Where did you read that?
Read Faulkner, read Thomas Wolfe.
You read too bloody much. So what? All the money we're going to make is suddenly meaningless. 6 months of solid lecture tour booking. So much alka.
You won't come back with a penny.
I will come back with a penny. I'm going to be wined and dined. I'm going to be patronized.
You drink too much there.
I can't. I've got to get up on a lecture platform practically every night and read my poems. I can't do that stinking, can I? Well, if I do, then spot it and I'll be packed home within a week. Look, we have nothing to lose and the world to gain. We've won the American sweepstakes.
You just want to get away from home. You're a selfish brute. You just go off scot-free, abandoning me, leaving me here in this ugly, dull, ice-cold, bourgeois, buggy little seaside cesspool next door to your father and mother who cringe if I whistle.
It isn't your whistling makes them cringe. It's your entertaining 7 truck drivers when I was in London last, with nothing between their popped eyes and your pale white skin, but a black lace slip with sequins on it.
But I have to have some fun, don't I? Just like you when you trot off, leaving me here glued night and day to 3 Dylan-aping, time-sucking brats. And what about me? Where's my personal self in all of this? Whatever happened to Miss Cat McNamara of Dublin's Fair City? Do you know how long it's been since I danced?
Foxtrot?
Oh, don't be funny. Since I danced for an audience to applause. You don't realise it, God damn it, Dylan.
I am aware of it.
But I was a rather extraordinary modern dancer and I held great promise. I was a highly paid artist model too. I sat for Augustus John. Even had a certain talent for caricature and might have made my way in the very lucrative cartooning field and I wrote a little to myself, if you still recall. I sound so pitiful, just handing out my notices like a has-been vaudevillian, but I was very good at all the arts, and I never got on with any of it, and the years just shot by, and here I am to look forward to 6 months without my husband, without money, without help.
You've got help.
All the help we've got is no help at all. I have to help her.
Then fire her, damn it!
Fire her, Dylan. We owe her 6 months back.
Well, if you wouldn't push her down the stairs like you did twice last week, she'd be more helpful.
They like being pushed down the stairs.
Who's they?
The help!
God damn it, that is snooty as hell.
I don't care. I don't give a damn about anything. I'm all alone and I'm trapped. I should have been a man. How much time is there left us?
I have to catch the 7 o'clock train to London in time for my flight.
My rival, the whole nation of America.
I have no time to think about romantic twaddle now. All I can think about now is money, like every other poet since time began. I tell you, I must be growing up or something, and I don't like it. I'm scared. I'm scared to the bone. I used to look like some fucking angel or something in my cherubim 20s. Back when your great Augustus John pled with me to sit for him. Around the day that you were so wild to have met me. The very year Demeter Sitwell upped and said that I was the only lyric poet of the 20th century. My God, I really didn't think I was that good. And she must have known what she was talking about, because it all came easier. Came easier and it went easier. The beer went down easier. It was easier breathing. I've got uglier now. I've put on weight like a man who's middle-aged. My hair's darker, I'm dirtier and smaller. The callus of my fingers as big as an egg, from the pencil, from hack work, from money, from writing travel logs, from writing as we set sail into the sunset and leave the beautiful isle of bird spit. I haven't written a new poem in a terribly long time. Take the last BBC broadcast that I did. Do you know, Cat, that there I was, suddenly aware that I was reading the best of me, and it was all 15-year-old stuff. If I don't write a new poem soon, I'm going to die of boredom, or I don't know, of rage.
I don't care if we starve, Dylan. Don't go to America. You should be up in the shack writing poems. It's what you do best. They'll turn you into a performer and buy your so available soul for paper money. Like Ford Motors and DuPont and the United States Marine Corps. All those monopolies.
I love Monopoly. It's my favourite game of chance. I've got to grow up and get to play it on the big boys board. I've got to make a living someday, don't I? What are Colm and Erin and Llewellyn going to think of their dandy father if he can't afford to send them 3 to college like a father's supposed to do? I'm their only father. I'm somebody's provident daddy, for Christ's sake. I can't go on playing bully boy poet when the hairs of my nostrils and my ears have begun to grey. And what else am I fitted for? In Wales, in England? What, to be poor and famous? As a wonderkin? Some kind of a Celtic nut? It's high time I acted my chronological age. I'm a man of 38 years old. I'd better be a man of letters by 40 or go to work as a bartender, something I know about. Look, John Malcolm Brinnin writes that I'm a legend in America. He says that I'm an influence, that I'm taught there in classrooms, and they're all as rich as creases there. Why, Texas sophomores that memorized me 15 years ago have shot their daddies in the saloons by now and taken over the oil wells. He writes that they're perishing to see me in the flesh. Well, they're going to have to pay to see me in the flesh and by the pound. A teaching position, for example. A sinecure at a university. At Miami Beach University, for instance, where you could get out in the sun on that vulgar G-string. Get those 3 brats out in the sun and bake the perennial flu out of them. Don't stop me, Cat. Don't stop me. You wait and see. You're going to be proud of me. We're going to be rich, adults, with respect, and live sensibly. Cut down on the liquor a lot, too. Heaven knows I can't write if I drink. Well, optimism just pinched your ass. Why don't you smile?
Dylan, it would be worth losing you even for 6 months if we could finally lift our heads and see daylight and
Now
laugh.
you're talking, Cat. Now you're talking. America. America's our salvation.
Do you really think it can work?
Oh, I do. And we'll bank the money this time, so help me God.
Oh, Sir Thomas, won't you say that poem you wrote for me the week we married?
What a fantasy. I only finished it the week we were married. I started it nearly a year before that. I didn't write a bloody word the week we were married, and I've written damn little since.
Well, then forget it.
All right. I'll do it. It'll be good practice for my American audience, so it won't be a complete loss.
You know, for For a sensitive man, you're a hateful, rotten, insensitive son of a bitch.
You ever wear that fucking bikini out of the house again, and I'll make you black and blue for a month.
You talk about growing up in one breath and you still can't blow your own nose, you scum!
Shut up!
Shut up yourself!
All right, I'll do it. Let me see. It begins. Now, as I was young and easy, under the apple boughs, about the lilting house and happy as the grass was green, the night above the dingle starry, time let me hail and climb, golden in the heydays of his eyes, and honoured among wagons, I was prince of the apple towns. And once below a time my lordly had the trees and leaves, trail with daisies and barley down the rivers of the windfall light. And as I was green and carefree, famous among the bards, about the happy yard and singing as the farm was home, in the sun that is young once only, time let me play and be, golden in the mercy of his means. And green and golden I was huntsman and herdsman. The calves sang to my horn. The foxes on the hills barked clear and cold. And the Sabbath rang slowly in the pebbles of his holy street.
So beautiful. It is so beautiful, Dylan.
Cat, if you really love the talent, you've got to love the opportunity that's about to come true for it.
Oh, I was just so afraid they'll change you, Dylan.
Never. My personality's tattooed. It won't come off.
Oh, they'll try. I love you as you are. Stubborn and funny and ratty old Dylan down to your boots. Although I have to ask to be held.
Come here. Come here. Get in there where the fat's cooking. That'll keep you warm.
It's going to be a lovely day out today.
Yeah, it is.
You can see miles out into the estuary already.
Can you?
Hey, you'd be sure to see a dentist when you get to New York. You'll be a toothless line by the time you're 40.
And you still love me as your toothless line.
Ugh, I've no pride in you, Dylan. Just emotional attachment. I don't think there's any end to it.
Caitlin, you're the only girl for me. You're the only girl I'll ever love until I explode and go out like a light. Idlewild is a fine definition of a poet's goal, is to be wild and to be idle.
Dolan or Dylan?
Dylan, as in penicillin. I used to be a reporter myself, send out God love me to cover sporting events which I knew nothing about, except to sit at the ringside and yell, kick him again. You know, you might say that the poets are the reporters of the sporting events of the human heart, of what took place the other night in the spotlit head of the beholder, at the arterial ringside having a bloody good time. Ringside having a bloody good time.
How's your flight?
Excellent, I nearly suffocated, it was so bloody hot.
Were your fellow passengers aware of your presence?
My fellow passengers were a forbidding lot of gnomes, international spies, and Presbyterians.
How do you like America?
I don't believe it for a minute. You're all living in a dream, but I wouldn't wake you up for the world.
Do you believe in God?
I'd be a damn fool if I didn't.
How about Freud?
How about Freud? Whatever is hidden should be made naked, brought to light, to clarity.
Speaking of clarity, Dylan, some of us have had trouble understanding your poems.
Then you should read Robert Frost.
I understand you're going to be here for 6 months now. How does your wife feel about that?
Oh, dear Caitlin, quaint, quiet woman, never ventures an opinion.
Did you get to see the New York skyline from the plane?
I did. Of course, it's all a mistake, you understand, but it's too late for us to do anything about it. Let's all go have a stiff drink on the boily boy. Somebody bring cash. Somebody find a pub. Somebody go get my baggage. It's 2 string-tied, tongue-tied bags of thin hide, hideous to see. Malcolm Brinnin is due to pick me up, the late John Malcolm Brinnin. Not dead, but tardy. He'll reimburse you all. It's out of my pocket. He's the Irish director of the Jewish Poetry Center, and he's begun to import Welsh poets, which is a hobby he may live to regret.
So what decided you to come to America, Dylan?
To continue my lifelong search for naked women in wet Macintoshes. Who's got a cigar?
I do. Sorry, I'm John Malcolm Brinnin.
Ah, thank God, Brennan, you're just in time. I'm totally inarticulate when it comes to interviews.
At the birdie, Mr. T.
Life of the party.
Have a heart. Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Oh, we'll get him in the bar.
Better yet. Look out, New York, or young Wild Welsh poet just breathed in.
All I'm saying is, as one of the first people to publish Dylan Thomas in this country, I have certain inalienable rights in his social calendar. And since he's arrived, there's been no attempt, none, to bring him together with
He
me.
was lost, Angus. I took him to see the top of the RCA building.
Well, you promptly proceeded to lose him.
Didn't you ever lose somebody?
Not for 3 days.
I didn't lose him on purpose.
What, did you call me? Did you say, Angus, I've lost Dylan Thomas? Did you call the civic authorities and say, I am responsible here for a Welsh poet. He's missing 3 days. I am guilty of having taken him to see the top of the RCA
He asked to
building."
see it.
What does he know? He's in a strange country. He needs guidance. This is a major event in world literature. This is the coming to America of Dylan Thomas. It'll be discussed and gone over for 100 critical years. And look who's wishy-washy hands it's in. John Malcolm Brinnin, the Eisenhower of modern
In a
poetry.
minute, I'm going to throw the Peter Lorre of modern poetry out that window. And it'll be of no interest whatsoever for 100 critical years.
I have 2 important cocktail parties lined up for him at which he didn't
You
show.
didn't check them with me.
I've got another lined up Tuesday night after his first reading at the Y.
Check it with me.
I'm doing that right now. Is that all right with you, Mr. Brinnin?
All right, Mr. Marius.
You know, I don't mind checking with you if you're going to be in charge like a person who's in charge. If you're going to lose the poet you imported out of the RCA building, I don't see why I have to check anything with you.
I'm not his mother, Angus.
Prove it! You assume the position of being responsible for him. You can't suddenly throw him out to his own devices. Are you his man here or not?
Guess I am, in a sense.
Well, you better be. He's telling everybody he meets you are. Introducing the Myra Coots, the first thing he said to Myra.
When? You just told me you hadn't had a chance to see him.
Well, I ran into him in the village 2 days ago.
So that's where he's been, with you and your endless string of sluts.
That's a forest fire. You wanted to behave like your cigarette
Stop
lighter.
putting me in the position of the madman's maiden aunt.
Well, stop putting me in the position of town pimp. Girls I introduced to Dylan were all college
Don't
graduates.
you realize, Angus, if he doesn't put in a solid, decent performance at the Y Tuesday, the whole tour's over. Every university I've lined up for him will have a spy there. If Dylan's looped or pooped or dull or inaudible, the cancellations will pour in the morning. You just seem to grasp what's going on here, Angus. He's broke. He needs money, and I tell you, Dylan's reputation for irresponsible behavior is a very living legend. If I found myself elected.
Now, self-elected is right. I could have arranged a piddling tour of some dozen campuses as easily as you. I could have gotten Sol Hurek to book him. All the fairest amateur.
All right. Maybe this lump on the bed, this forest fire, will come to loathe me for it. I mean, possibly end up loathing myself. But I intend to try my damnedest to make him a big success and a little money in America. And don't ask me why I'm doing it. It just seems like somebody should. I only ask that you leave him alone until after his first reading, just so my piddling tour can at least have a chance to piddle. Above and beyond that, I'm not my brother's keeper.
Oh, you'll live to eat those words. Let me give you one last piece of advice. You've got a tiger by the tail. Don't try to teach him table
That
manners.
forest fire, that tiger, that hangover there on the bed is a frightened child of 38.
The oldest man alive.
Well, how about lovable bastards? Would you agree with that?
All right, now you're talking. The good Joe of geniuses.
That's me, by God, a lovable bastard and the sweetest fella you'd ever want to meet.
Much of our conversation, Dylan, that you lie there listening to?
Does a forest fire ever use? Does a tiger understand English?
You do at 1 o'clock at a luncheon, Dylan.
Absolutely, I'm already dressed. But I wouldn't want to miss breakfast. Call room service. I'll have a double bourbon with a raw egg in it.
This has been a thrilling experience, a real privilege to meet you for all of us here this afternoon.
Not at all, madam.
Oh, your impressions of New York are so lusty and significant.
The rather customary awe of any country boy come to the big city.
Well, we are all coming Tuesday to the reading with our tickets clutched in our hot little hands.
Goody!
Oh, now you have told us what you think of America and poetry and God. Now, what do you think of the Greater New York chapter of the American National Poetry Appreciation Center.
Madam, the cream chicken was more than swell. The punches left me wordless, and you are not to be believed. But I believe you me.
Girls, this is the White Horse Tavern. The horse, as Dylan calls it. Let me ask the old man if he's been and gone.
I'll have a dry vodka martini with a twist. Mr. Mary's will have a scotch on the rocks, and she'll have a pink lady.
That's my drink.
When I went to Smith, there was a girl just like you, and it was her drink. It's a very sweet, sweet, sweet drink, I hear.
Yes, it is.
Oh, he hasn't pulled in yet.
Are you so sure he'll want liquor before tonight's performance?
The Las Vegas odds, my dear Meg.
I see. Then we're in for a disaster. I may not go.
Oh, it won't be dull. That's a promise. That's Dylan's sacred word to the world. The only word he keeps. It won't be dull. Oh, Annabelle, what is that?
The goddamn thing's called the Pink Lady.
It's very sweet, isn't it?
It's very sweet, Angus, just like me.
Oh, listen, I think you're sweet. You know how sweet I think you are.
I think too much.
Is your father writing a new novel, Annabelle?
Oh, it's the same novel. It just keeps coming out under different titles.
Oh, what does he think of Dylan's poetry?
Words, 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 he says. He thinks Dylan's a bum, but that's what he said about every one of my mothers. Won't he be surprised when he finds out that I've become Dylan's mistress?
Oh, when did that happen?
As soon as I meet him.
How will your father find out, dear?
I'm going to shout it from the housetops. I'm a very free, compulsive person. I have no sense of shame. I'm amoral.
Maybe Mr. Thomas won't want you.
Oh, yes, he will. I hear he's not at all fussy.
Angus?
Oh, don't glare at me. I simply promised Annabelle she could meet him, no more than I promised you, my dear Meg. I'm going to stop introducing people to people. The minute they meet, they run off and leave me anyway.
Don't you want to sleep with Dylan?
No.
You don't?
With a married drunk, why would I?
But he's a great poet. Angus says he is. I can't wait to see him in action tonight. They just say that the sound of his voice is like an organ. Holy, holy, holy. Well, all I can say is I'm available as hell for Dylan. Hi.
Maybe he'll get a divorce and marry you.
Who are you kidding? I am going to be the mistress of 10 great poets, and then I'm going to marry a manufacturer and see what's cooking in Rye, New York. Well, go ahead and laugh. The reason I tell you I'll make out with geniuses is they all drink. They all want to die young. Somebody told them it's the good housekeeping seal of approval. And I cannot last any camp follower on the round of bars every night. I'm famous for my hollow leg.
Are you?
I'm the bottom of this pit.
The pitiless bottom.
There they are, just like the photographs.
Oh, Robert Maddox with him. Very fine poet.
One for each of us.
I've retired from the ring. You fight.
Man who broke his leg, and I'm drunk.
Oh, you don't seem drunk.
I am. I'm a button hanging from a frayed thread.
Angus, is it true? You married your sister?
I had a brother, never had a sister.
That is worse.
Gentlemen, Meg Stewart and Annabelle Graham Pike.
Oh, mainstay of the American Book Club.
His only child.
And Meg is my assistant editor over at Peter Piper Press.
How do I do? How do I do?
Usually, when you meet a brace of girls, one is nifty and the other's a dog. I have to assume the two of you never met before tonight, which would account for beautiful, wonderful things coming in bunches.
That's right, how astute.
That's true. Beer bars and a beer. Are we at the horse yet?
I was just telling Dylan he should send his minor poems to this duchess from Istanbul. No, she's paying great money and she has no taste. She buys labels off of cans and she prints them. I'll have a small glass of mulled wine. Do you mull your wine around here?
You can mull it.
Mull me some wine. I'm a man who's broken his leg.
Are you going to have Dylan read at Ohio State? Bob teaches at Ohio State.
Angus, you always sound like you're emceeing something. Yes, Dylan's coming to meet the girls from my poetry classes. But for the moment, I am consumed with self-pity. Or is it Weltschmerz? I may be crippled for life. I am in intolerable pain.
What does the doctor say happened to you?
He calls it a sprained ankle. What the hell do doctors know about medicine anyway?
Bartender, 4 double scotches. I'm running out of time.
You have to read, remember?
I don't have to do anything I don't want to do, and I can read blind.
How exceptional.
I'm not exceptional. Ordinary people, madam. I generally hit it out with ordinary people because I'm one of them, and they sense it immediately. I mean, I'm only a poet by accident. I don't have any emotions other people don't have. Isn't that right, Angus?
Dylan, slow down, my boy.
I asked you a simple question.
That's right.
Is that right, Malik?
Hell no. You're a man with two heads. Any good drunk like me can spot a man with two heads.
Where are my drinks? Where are my drinks?
You have them, Dylan.
How more drinks!
Dylan, let's blow this joint. You do it the YMHA. Less than an hour
No,
now.
I like it here at the horse. I'm very fond of it here. I'm very fond of you, Angus. And you. And you, Malik. Why are you drawing back from me, Malik? Do I disgust you? I'm not so fond of you. You got a little poker up your ass. You know. You got that hard-faced Salem bitch look about you. Are you a lesbian by chance? Oh, hail to thee, lead weight, bird thou never wert. I'm gonna squeeze your boobs. Well, go on, slap my face. I dare say I have it coming. Go on.
Don't do that again.
Madam, no doubt you feel I've grown a trifle too familiar, but I intend to die before I'm 40 and I wouldn't want to miss anything. Ms. Stewart, your tits are couplets. And stand up and show us your villain.
Dylan, have some black coffee.
No!
You've got to read tonight, Dylan. There's a piece of change riding on
I'll
it.
be brilliant, I'll be brilliant. Where shall we two meet again?
I'll see you at the party later.
At the party. Where's the party? You're all invited to the party. It's a private party. Everyone's gonna get their privates on.
We don't do that.
It isn't being done, you either. No, I don't.
Save room, Dylan. There'll be plenty of booze afterwards at the party.
At the party. At the wonderful party in my honor. I deserve it, you know. I only come along once in 1,000 years. I'm unique. I'm a unique eunuch. I'm the only iniquitous unique eunuch who can play Alexander's ragtime band on his little tin balls using his own long-legged dog. Did you know that I was a happily married man?
It doesn't bother me if it doesn't bother you.
Black coffee. Could we have some black coffee?
To Caitlin! To my Caitlin! I love Caitlin. She's as pretty as the princess on top of the Christmas tree. She was an extraordinary dancer. I ruined her career. She was the top model for Augustus John. She draws very well too, and she writes better than I do. I have a letter here someplace that she wrote me. Christ, I must have lost it. I left it someplace. I ruined her. I took this beautiful, brilliant woman and I wiped her out selfishly. I used her. I use people, Angus. I'm a communist. I'm a Puritan. I'm a drunk. And I'm a heterosexual.
You're a filthy liar. Sit down, Dylan.
I'll punch the daylights out of any man who says a camera in a bag. My father's a schoolmaster and a very proper soul. He was appalled at my incredibly gauche behaviour, and he couldn't make sense of my poetry. But then he reads Wordsworth. He thinks the world is crazy to listen to me, and you know what? I think maybe he's right. I think I need to pee now. Where's my fly? Where are my flies? My fly flew the coop.
Hold it! Hold it! Get over there in the corner there. You see the sign that says men. You can't do that in the middle of the room. We got a room over there. It says men. Go where you see men.
I'll help you, Dylan.
Will you help me?
I'll help you too, Dylan. We'll all help you. Where were you before you came here?
Everywhere. He doesn't know how to drink.
Liquor is my cross. Liquor is my curse. I'm a man with his pinky finger stuck in a beer bottle and I can't write. Can you write like this, man? Oh, I betrayed the good gift. I betrayed the good gift. Oh, hello, John. What's happening?
Angus, I'll kill you. Look at him.
Do you all know what time it is? It's great. It's 10:08. In 20 minutes, he steps out on stage with thunderous applause and goes head first into the orchestra pit.
Take it in the men's room first.
Carl, I can't do it, Billy.
After, you've got to try.
You're 10 years too late. I can't come through. I am through.
Please, for me. For Caitlin.
At least you know you brought to America. All right, I'll try. For Caitlin, I'll try. Pope Elliot's world may go with a whimper. Mine's gonna go with a bloody big bang.
You can't put that man on the podium.
I can't cancel it. That's my decision.
She'll destroy
Not
him.
before you will.
got a letter from his wife today. She doesn't have money for food.
If he goes out there and is a
If he
flop...
fails to show, the tour's over anyway. Now go pour cold water on him. I'll get some black coffee.
Hello, John.
Meg, could you please order us a cab?
Yeah, I'll just get
Thank
my
you.
Hello, Mr. Brinnin. I hope
I
that
hope
he's...
so too. Besides everything else, I'll probably be out of a job. I need a drink. No, I don't. Never mind.
I'll see about a taxi. Yoo-hoo, taxi!
John! He's choking to death and now he's coughing. He's spitting up blood. Call my doctor. We'll pick him up on Route Levinson, 57th Street. I don't think it's so serious. No food.
Who's the guy the fuss is all about?
Oedipus Rex. He killed his father and married his mother.
Jesus!
Oh! What a goddamn waste.
Dylan! I just introduced him to the audience. Where is he?
Well, he hasn't walked through that stage door
Well,
yet.
he was right behind me in the
You
cab.
don't suppose he thought it was the YMCA now,
Oh, God,
do
what are
you?
we gonna do?
Well, I don't know. We're 45 minutes late right now, and you're in charge.
Angus,
What do you mean?
They stopped out to see a doctor.
Is he sick?
Drunk.
Oh,
Angus,
God,
swear it wouldn't
no.
take more than 5 minutes.
Well, then what do you want to do now?
I can't call it off. I just want to die.
No. You should not have left him out
I
of your
shouldn't
sight.
take this job. I'm a poet. I'm not an entrepreneur.
Didn't you just tell that audience? And here he is.
Well, and here he is, Mr. Dylan Thomas. Applause. Pause. Nothing.
And you have a whole tour ahead of you yet?
Well, that depends on tonight.
Oh.
Depends on whether or not he can come through. It's the result word we worship, right? Monster or freak, idiot or genius. What have you done first tonight? That's what they say in the marketplace. That's what the lady says in her back in bed. That's what the gentleman says after he shakes your hand. Come through or be damned.
Yes, well, why don't you just call it
No,
off?
I won't.
He's here! We hit every red light on the
You're
route.
introduced.
You'll never make it.
Dylan, you're on.
I'm gonna go out there and cop out for it. There's nothing else to
Give me some beer! Somebody give me
Dylan,
some
there's hot
beer!
coffee for you. There isn't any beer.
No, I got us some beer!
Oh, thank you, my true blue Bala Bula. No, I'll be brilliant, I promise. I'll be brilliant. Where are my pearls? Okay, where's the podium?
Dylan, forget it.
Why don't we
Nothing's
close
that
it down?
important.
I'll be great. Once I leave you, there's the podium. Just let me... John! If you step out there, I'll be right alongside you and you'll look like a bloody
Dylan,
ass!
I'm not going to let you out there and make a petition you're in. I'm not going to allow it.
Relax, John. You look harried and careworn.
Stop him!
It's too late.
For my first poem, I should like to read a poem whose title is its first line. In my craft a sullen art. In my craft a sullen art, exercised in the still night when only the moon rages, and the lovers lie abed with all their griefs in their arms. I labour by singing light, not for ambition or bread, or the strut and trade of charms on the ivory stages, but for the common wages of their most secret heart. Not for the proud man apart from the raging moon I write on these spindrift pages, nor for the towering dead with all their nightingales and psalms, but for the lovers, their arms round the griefs of the ages, who pay no praise or wages, nor heed my craft or art.
John, congratulations.
Did you get a chance to talk to Dylan?
No, he's been far too busy racing about, blowing down the dickies of every girl at the brawl.
He's not like that all the time.
I'm sure not. He must sleep sometime.
Come on, I'll get you a cab.
No, thank you.
Where is Catherine Ann Porter? Ah, I see you now, there's Catherine Ann Porter. You can't escape a Welshman's wonder, Catherine Ann Porter. I love your short stories. Pain horse, pain rider. And for that, Catherine Ann Porter, I shall lift you up to the stars.
Catherine!
Oh, Catherine!
Dylan, that's Catherine Ann
You're
Porter!
head and shoulders above every other female writer, Catherine Ann Porter. Piggyback, rump-de-room!
John, come on, we gotta rescue Catherine Ann!
Here, rescue her, Angus. Fresh out of White Charge.
What, are you gonna sit there and laugh? Well, somebody has to help Catherine Ann!
It's a Marx Brothers movie, Angus. It's Salvatore Dali stepping off the canvas. And all over the academic literary world, hair will be let down this year. And heels will kick, and dresses will catch in zippers, and banana peels shall strew the sidewalks, and pins shall pop balloons, and peers shall drop from clouds, and people shall cry because we die, and laugh because we're born, and you and I, Angus Marius, you sycophant, we shall have the book dust blasting off us and be like kids again. Good God, I've got to call Boston.
The red shoes up and the battery's down. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Dylan!
Dylan!
My husband is in America. Why are you the London operator? What? Are you deliberately whispering? I can't make head nor tail out of what you're saying to me. I had to come all the way down to the post office for this call, mind you, and the quality of your instruments is hardly worth a bother, now is it? Hello? Who's that?
Hello, Cat!
Dylan?
I can hear the Atlantic Ocean. Where are you?
Hello?
Hello! We're a sensation! I get tremendous ad-lib blasts between poems and a huge ovation. Bookings have been flooding in. I played Brooklyn. I'm off to Chicago. We wind up at Harvard on the
How
11th.
did it go?
I love you. Can you hear me?
Where are you tonight, you bloody cheat?
How are Colum and Erin and Llewellyn?
Tuition. The tuition money,
What?
Dylan.
Yeah, Llewellyn school tuition. Didn't we pay
We
that?
didn't pay it. Have you got it?
Christ. Will they wait?
Oh, you mustn't disappoint him again. They threatened to toss him out in his ear. Let's not spend all the money on the phone. Get off the phone.
Will you talk up? What are you saying? How's my father?
I said this is costing us a fortune.
It is. If you'd listen to the questions and answer them one at a time, it would take half the time and cost half the fortune.
What?
Oh, Christ.
I haven't any money either.
Look, just write me. Write me. Write me.
Are you bloody flopped there or are you too drunk to tell?
Have you any idea what this phone call is costing us? Have you no sense of the value of money?
Do you know what the problem with our lives is? It's a bad connection from a very long distance.
It's no good. I can't hear you if you insist on mumbling.
Dylan?
Good night.
Money, money, money! I love you, Dylan! Oh, go to hell!
Dylan? Dylan, are you in here? I can't.
Shh. I'm over here by the boys' crib.
Dylan, everybody's out there, especially to meet you. Dick and Betty invited the entire faculty.
So how did I do tonight, entrepreneur?
Oh, you put Harvard College in your pocket.
Handsome sum indeed.
Did you remember to mail Llewellyn school tuition money?
Yes, yes.
No, Dylan, look in your pockets. The blue envelope I made out and stamped for you.
A blue envelope. I carried it in front of my nose all day yesterday, John. He's been humiliated before when I've forgotten or didn't have it. I wouldn't let that happen again. Of course I made it.
Because if it didn't go out yesterday, they'll toss him out of school.
Look, just because Kat wrote you and told you I wasn't to be trusted is no reason to play den mother. And I made the bloody blue envelope. Good enough?
Sorry. It's just, you're being an hour late to your MIT readings got me a little edgy, but that couldn't be helped. If you overslept, you overslept. I am sorry. Why don't you come back to the party?
No, not yet. Not yet.
I brought your drink.
I don't want to. Put it over there someplace.
Oh, but I thought you wanted to see the midnight show at the old Howard Theater.
Shame on you.
Dylan, the party's in your honor out there, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Tell them in there that I'm asleep, or drunk, or dizzy, or dead. I'm not up for having my trouser cuffs kissed tonight. He reminds me of Llewellyn and Colin. My boys. My poor boys. He reminds me of me when I was a boy. He's afraid of the dark. Sit down. It's nice here.
How'd you get in here?
I heard him crying. Nothing worth bothering his parents about. We had a bit of a talk and a laugh or two. The facts of life, a dirty joke.
How old is he?
3, the age of wisdom. To still believe in fairies and to be not quite yet toilet trained. He asked me to read him a bedtime story. I gave my best reading in weeks. I wish you'd been here.
What poem did you read, Dylan, to a 3-year-old boy?
Well, not one of my own poems, but one of my favorites and the story of my life. Ba ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. 1 for my master, 1 for my dame, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane.
Is that your life story, Dylan?
Yes, every blessed word of it. Ba ba, black sheep refers, of course, to me, who am the black sheep of my family, mankind. The ba ba is the comment, the point of view. Then, have you any wool? That's the request that life makes of poets. Do you have any long rainbow strands of woolly thoughts that can be woven into the dense and lovely fabric of poems, which are the ferventest prayers by which man praises God? And this, his slapdash Eden, continually lost and found and lost, alas. To which I answer up a very polite and eager, yes, sir, yes, sir. It's being affirmative, positive. 3 bags full. That's bragging. It's probably only 2 bags or a bag and a half. Of talent to spend, of wit to squander, of love to give. And who to give it to? Well, the answer is almost immediate. 1 for my master, God. 1 for my dame, Cat. The best looking dame I know. And 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. That's myself from long away once upon days. The lane is memory. The winded, winding, wound up, wounded, wondrous, winding thing. The bag for myself is probably the bag that I don't have. The brag bag. But in its place, the story offers me consolation in that there's no end to it. The little boy lives, lives, lives. He never has to die. He may be the black sheep and all, but because he gives away everything he's got to others to serve their needs, he gets to live forever for it. In his poems, John. In his bag of poems.
I never knew the specific meaning of that verse before.
Oh yes, that's what it's all about. Now listen up now that you're in the know and you'll hear how clear it actually is. Ba ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. 1 for my master, 1 for my dame, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. A curious thing, you know. Here I am, truly as if I finally arrived at the height of my gift, with all that craft at my fingertips, knowing exactly what to do, to say exactly what's to be said, just at a point when I seem to have run out of the drive to say it. I'll tell you what that's like. That's like all the good fairies gathered around the cradle, and there's that one malevolent hag that levels a crooked finger that curdles the cream of the blessings. That one malevolent hag that shouts across my bunting, if this child shall grow up, then this child shall grow old, and this child shall sing no more. And that fills me with rage. Fills me with rage.
Old Howard Theatre, home of the family entertainment whose motto is anything can happen, proudly presents its star attraction and world-renowned, inspiring, exotic dance, Miss Thelma Wonderland.
gonna enjoy forever.
All right, take it easy, Miss Wonderland. Come on, my friend, let's get off the stage.
Will you be my friend?
Get off when you get you like a
You too, Charlie, get off the stage!
Fella, take it off, fella. Take it off, the manners burns here, Roma. I'm reading at Radcliffe tomorrow.
Billy, come on, the Welsh tuition money, you didn't send it.
And now, Miss Wonderland will continue her world-renowned, inspiring exotic dance alone.
How do you do? I'm the Reverend Breathwaite, and I'm to be your shipmate for the voyage.
My deepest, deepest sympathies. Angus, pour some holy water for this man of the burning cloth.
I rise from the lamp in a puff of smoke. You rot, sir. My name is Jeannie. Once I had long brown hair, but no longer. Now I am bald and forthright. This is a terrific sailing party. Reverend, have you met any of the girls? They're out to the companionway, all potential convicts. Come with me.
Dylan, alas, 'tis parting time.
Oh, Annabelle, you're in weeds. This isn't the Titanic.
You'll never come back, I have a feeling.
I will, my dear, next year.
Christmas in New York?
I'll try.
She'll never let you out of the house.
No, she has prior rights.
I never had it so good.
Not I, not any man on earth. You're just a reckless child, Annabelle. You don't know what to do with it all.
Annabelle, your father's out in the companionway and he wants to see you. He says farewell to you, Dylan, but he says it's too hot and crowded in here, so he's waiting out there talking to Meg.
Meg? Is she here? Meg, my bosom pal.
I'll be back for a kiss goodbye.
No, Annabelle. Squeeze my hand and don't look back. Go on.
All right. Squeeze.
John, I think I'm in love with that foolish girl.
Annabelle?
Oh, I don't know. I love Caitlin. I love Annabelle too. I love them all. I love women. I love men. I love you. I love my shipmate who wears his collar the wrong way around, but then I'm a careless dresser myself. I love boats and bottles and Wales and America. You got to bring me back here next year.
I will. Someday.
Next year, promise me, John.
Look, I need to go over these expenses with you. I just took the last 2 weeks making out all your expenses and earnings. You need to know all this for tax purposes.
It's very bully of you, John. Stick it in my bag over there and refill my glass.
No, Dylan, I slaved over this. I'm not an accountant, I'm a poet. Don't you want to hear what you earned?
Why? I spent it all already.
What? You haven't. You couldn't have.
I don't know. It just seemed to go. Every night, all those people. I don't have a nickel left. Oh, cat will kill me. Jeez, I may throw myself to the fishes before I even get to Wales. Facing Llewellyn's what destroys me. How could I have let him down? Here he is being tossed out of school for no money, and here I am, living it up, lapping it up, and the bloody money in my pocket all along. Johnny Brinnin, I'm such a failure as a human being, it's something fierce.
There's $300 left.
No, there's nothing left. I checked this morning when I packed.
There's $300. I kept it from you. It's in your shaving kit all rolled up. It was to have been a kind of a secret bonus, but I guess it's your whole net profit now.
What, didn't you trust me, goddammit?
No, Dylan, I didn't.
Oh, thank God, Brinnin. My good friend forever. Look, you got to bring me back here next year.
Look, it's been a brilliant tour, Dylan, but I don't think we should too soon. I mean, for you personally.
It'll be different here next time. I'll write here. I'll write and I'll bank the money.
Okay, look, I may visit you in Wales in the fall. We'll talk about it then.
Yes, you must. You must. You'll meet Caitlin. She'll love you. Because she must come to Wales.
Goodbye, Dylan.
Meg, I really didn't think you'd come to see me off.
Well, there's the whistle. I better start moving some of the crowd outside off, and they'll be sailing with you.
Angus says there's several bottles of scotch in the paper bag in the corner.
You hate him for doing that.
I guess he figures if he doesn't buy it for you, you'll spend your own money on it.
You disapprove of me.
I do, Dylan.
What can I do? I've been me for so long, there's no turning it around.
I could turn you around. Would you let me?
When I get back, we must have lunch. Work on Angus and John for them. Don't let them forget me. Now kiss me goodbye as though you'd meant it.
Wrong girl.
My dear Meg, a sailing party's a time for whoopee.
Then where are you always sailing, Dylan?
All visitors ashore. All visitors ashore.
So on, Dylan. Tipsy tough. The stick takes forever to carry.
Then lose weight.
You too, you filthy dog.
And right.
Sorry, Robert.
Johnny Brinnin, my host. Say the good word.
Bob Black Sheep.
You may pass. Favor, would you pass me that brown paper bag over there like a good friend?
Yeah. Oh, there, sure.
What's in it? Nibbles, sweets, drops, I think.
Dylan, I'll get you back here someday.
Yes, next year, John, next year.
Okay.
God bless America! I'm dying. I can't keep it up.
You're not dying.
I can't keep it up. I'm seasick. I'm plane sick. I'm train sick. I'm brain
You're
sick.
going to bed. You'll survive.
I was brilliant, Cat. They loved me. The whole continent loves me. I was terrific, Cat. I really was. I was terribly good. And they loved me.
Everyone loves you, Dylan.
Not enough.
Come on, just...
In Omaha, in Daytona. It's an immense country. Ever since they killed all the Indians, you don't see any Indians. They've got nothing but space over there. You should see what posh cars American poets drive. Brennan drives his Studebaker. It's only 2 years old. Isn't that posh?
Put your arm over my shoulder, would you?
Buildings as tall as Babel. We're going to be rich, Cap. We're going to pay off all our debts and have luxuries and necessities just like everybody.
With what? You spent it all but $300.
Doesn't matter. I'm a man of letters now. I can have it any time I want it again. They worship me, I tell you. They save my empty beer bottles to put in museums. I must be very great, you know that.
Yes, I know that. Do you?
I have to laugh. I met all the critics and I had them completely bamboozled. I just sat there and kept saying, hum, and smoking this big cigar, as big as a stevedore's dingus. One compared me to Shakespeare and Keats. Campuses turned out in my honor. The applause at those readings, it loved me, I tell you. I fornicated an entire nation with just the sound of my voice.
You're never going back, ever again.
I am, for the money, for the freedom of the money, so I can concentrate. That's why I'm anxious. Sit. That's why I'm anxious. Desperate. Jesus, Caitlin, poetry.
They've spoiled you rotten. You're fat and flabby and dissipated and sick to the soul. Listen to you, egotist.
I have been spitting up blood. I've been having some blackouts. Look, I'm just so tired. I've been running.
You're going to bed.
To have sex.
To sleep. Didn't you have enough sex in America? Enough liquor? Enough adulation? What do you have to be, Dylan, the bloody Pope?
Yes, you don't understand. I'm as famous as God. And they all want to meet you too. I told them how you're as pretty as the princess on top of the Christmas tree. Look, I'm sorry for not writing off. And I was
Listen, you're never going back, ever again. They've had you and you've had them.
What do you mean?
Just stop, Dylan. Stop it. Don't you know what you've been through?
Yes. It's not good for me. Success will kill me. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Oh, I'm so lonely, Kat. I'm so lonely. Oh, please don't let me go back. Oh, please don't let me go back.
When you are sad and lonely on, Brennan. I just got back from Wales. Sit down.
Both of them are coming. Good luck to America.
Angus, I did promise to have lunch with him, but I'm certainly not going to have lunch with him with his wife here. I don't care what you say Dylan expects.
Brennan, wait till I adjust the phone here. I broke my arm. Look, I'm delighted to have Dylan again, but I want your word, John, that he shows up this time. By the time he showed up last time, my classes were graduated.
I've been a terrible I never thought he'd come back. I got married.
You heard me. Angus, marry us. I want to reserve 3 tables at the White Horse Tavern for lunch on October 10th. I know you don't reserve tables, but it's a party for Dylan. Right. Wasn't we pay for the glassware? Who's with you? His wife will be with him.
Mrs. Dylan Thomas here. Who is this? Time magazine? What do you want? We just walked through the door of our hotel. He's lying down and can't be disturbed. What do I think of you? I think you're all too bloody pleasant, and I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. And if I had my way, we wouldn't be here.
Brennan, how's your terrible cold? Angus, I'm calling you from the White Horse Tavern. It's a wonderful party, wonderful party. Cats enjoying themselves immensely. But is Dylan with you? Then I've lost him.
Hello, Meg. This is Dylan Thomas. I'm back in America and you're in the phone book. Would you like to have lunch with me? But no. It's only 4 o'clock in the morning. Look, I'm going to be very sick. If Kat sees me, she's going to get scared and want to go home. Well, I've got half a bottle of booze to go. I'm at the corner of Bleecker and 6th Avenue. It's starting to rain. Come, pick me up for lunch. Oh, the sky's divorced, the weather's go boom. Oh, where are we? Who am I?
We're taking your clothes off, Dylan. Your little boy lost.
I hear water running.
Oh, we're about to take a tub, as I haven't got a shower.
Oh.
You seem to have lain in a muddy gutter, and you've evidently been in a fist fight. No, leave your shorts on. Put your arm around my shoulder, and don't you dare touch my breasts.
I apologize. Is it cold?
Ice cold.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's freezing! Are you out of your bloody mind? Oh, my God. Oh, don't splash, don't splash. Look, I still got my shorts on here. Oh, Christ, I bet no man in his right mind loves you.
Oh, no man in his right mind even loves me.
Oh. So what, no beau, successful or otherwise?
I overpruned my garden, sir. Nothing grows in it.
Oh, I didn't go to college. You'll have to explain that one to me.
All right, I'll tell you how it is. Basketball giants picked me up for the theater at 8, and a riddle to pygmies by 8:15. Sharp repartee. At 8:25 we reach the theater, and I help them out of the cab. By intermission time I hold them in my arms like dolls. Drinks after the show finds them further reduced to hand puppets. They are in the palm of the hand they'd like to hold. At last what brings me home and begs me to let it come in for coffee and monkey shines is microscopic, and therefore biologically unfitted to giving me anything more than a bad head cold.
Oh, you are a love. Why didn't you leave me in the gutter where you find me?
I'm a Girl Scout and an English major.
Nonsense, you're at least a brigadier. So I've no mummy or daddy?
A mummy. My daddy died of a very bad case of cheap rye. People whom liquor melts no longer shock me, but I never seem to be able to walk fast in the opposite direction. Patriotic for drunks.
Say, you wouldn't like to go to bed with a wild Welsh poet, would you?
I don't think so.
I didn't think so. Oops, I'm not here, whoever that is.
Don't splash it out.
Jesus Christ, you don't think it's cat?
That's life. Here's a towel.
This girl has got to go. Oh, oh Jesus, there's a vicious draft in here. Oh, Dylan, look at you. You foul-haired boy. You're all wet as usual. Oh. Charlie's aunt. Was it Cat? Was it Cat?
Angus, he's going to call Kat and tell her you're conked out at his place sleeping it off.
Good. There's no sense in dropping tobacco butts in our good liquor. There's no point in mentioning that I'm here, alone, with you, without my clothes, in a private room at an ungodly hour. What do you suppose I'm hinting at? I suppose I'm hinting at an orgy. I don't even feel like an orgy. Wouldn't even know what to do with an orgy if I had one. Still and all, if I don't at least hint at it, the sense of waste depresses me for weeks. Thus the clown admits his nose is large.
Put your duds on and I'll make you some tea.
Tea? That's made with ordinary tap water, isn't it? Can't you make us something antiseptic?
You can't stay here, Dylan.
Don't you have an apparatus that could open up temporarily for me?
It's not convertible. Come on, Dylan. I'm a big girl, you're a big boy, and you're married.
Yes. Happily. Happily married.
3 children.
You're rejecting me.
Never kill you.
I thought you were going to undertake my reformation.
Lost cause, a change of mind.
Yeah, more like a change of heart.
Dress.
Oh, without my shorts?
Who will notice?
Oh, I hate to tell you.
You're a genius. You've got until tomorrow to plan an explanation. Angus is expecting you at his place tonight.
Look, stay. I'm lousy conversation for myself tonight. You don't have to turn around. I can do it under the robe. Houdini, the escape artist.
Why on earth did you come back to America, Dylan?
Oh, why did I come back to America? You know, I've never told this to a living soul, but the real reason is that the British government built a guided missile plant right next to my boathouse in Wales. No, it's true. You can't tell if what's moving you is the spirit or the blast off. Impossible conditions to concentrate in. I write, the ground is shaking, and the ground is shaking.
Would you be merry at your own funeral, Dylan?
Impossible. I'll be late to it. No. I need money. I've just discovered it's the current mode of exchange.
You'll blow every penny you make, and you know it.
Say, would you like to be my business manager?
Isn't John?
Only for the toll.
Cat had hit the roof. You are Houdini, Dylan, the escape artist.
I'm an incredibly concentrated person who adores distraction.
Escaping what?
You don't let go, do you? Escaping responsibility. One is always escaping responsibility.
To Cat?
To internal revenue.
Please, Dylan. Please be serious. Come down off the rostrum and level with the lady in the balcony. Escaping responsibility to
poetry. I haven't written a bloody word of it in a dog's age. You know, maybe only 1% of a poet's life is poetry, and 99% of the time he's just a human being. But he always knows he's only storing up for that 1% when the magic happens. So he plays pig to supply manure to grow the flowers in. My collected poems are out. $2.50 will buy any hackneyed student of modern verse my complete output. But the input that I put into that output is my entire life. And when it comes to $2.50, well, I feel I'm overpaid. Because the truth of the matter is I'd have done it for nothing. Still and all, it's selling like hotcakes. My entire life is selling like hotcakes. If sales keep up over the years, I stand to make $5,000 from my pains.
Who asked you to be a poet?
No, I'm not complaining. It's not bad for something you'd have done for nothing. But I am filled with wonder these days because my collected poems are out and I'm still kicking. Well, it's almost like I've been given a second entire life or something. What to do with it now that I have it to do all over again?
Dylan, I'll make you a deal.
Good. Go to bed with me and I'll sign your personal copy of my collected poems. You do have a copy, don't you?
Yes, I have a copy. Let me tell you what to do with your life, like a schoolmaster, and I'll take 10% of the satisfaction.
Well, aren't I living my life correctly, schoolmaster?
You're not living your life at all.
I'm living it to the hilt.
No, not your life. You are only living the poet's life. Stop trying to write poetry. It's not the end of the world. Write plays. Write an opera. Write a film. Write about your adventures in America. Cut more records of readings and build yourself an annuity. Let your writing go out and work for you, instead of having to stand up and kill yourself in Des Moines for $50 a show. Do you have any real estate? Stocks? Insurance? You don't live your life, Dylan. You live Riley's life, or some image you once got of yourself as this bad boy genius skidding downhill to a splashy crack-up. And I tell you, the magic will come back. If you just take a little of the terror of no money and hangovers and sex, unlimited and indiscriminate, and throw those things in the ash can because they are worthless and you are valuable. You want to read what they'll write about you after you're dead, but you may not be able to do that. I mean, whoever guaranteed you a private resurrection?
Christ?
If you're plumping for sainthood, Dylan, you haven't any right to drag Kat and 3 children down that old path of agony and endurance.
She drags me, I tell you. She drags me. I'm only living up to how she chooses to see me.
And she chooses to see you the way you chose to see yourself 20 years ago. Every damn silly thing that woman says or does is only to match you, outrage for outrage.
I hate that.
Then how happily married can you be?
I lied. I'm not happy. She's not happy. It's not possible to live with her, and it gets more impossible every day. I detest the way we are together. I detest the way that I've become with her. It's always Punch and Judy, kill and make up. It's always a raging hurricane. You can't live like that. There's no time out for breath or for a life. And I'm tired to death of it. And I can't write. I don't know whose fault that is anymore. It's probably both of us now. You know, maybe she'd be better off without me too. Yes, I love her. I love her like bits of burning coals and pieces of broken glass and bright-coloured thumbtacks and snakes unscotched in pits. But I can't walk barefoot on them any longer. My Hindu kidhood is gone. It's gone. It's shed like a lizard's skin, and I feel newborn and tender-footed. More so mortal, perhaps, but it's not such a terrible thing as I used to think it would be. Soft birth, wall to wall in my young old age.
Why don't you try to tell her that?
I will. I will.
One night Maddox said you've a death wish, Dylan.
Baloney. Do you believe I have anything like that? Like a death wish?
When you go on the tour, if you want to talk to me, call me. Reverse the charges.
My unofficial business manager. I really should leave.
Angus doesn't expect you, Dylan. It's raining out.
I do have a birthday coming up. Is this my birthday present?
There are needs in this world that have nothing to do with love, and marriages that never get recorded in a courthouse. Happy birthday, Dylan.
Baby.
Is this a really good museum?
Metropolitan? Well, it's supposed to be one of the best in the world.
I just asked. I may take singing lessons while I'm in New York.
Well, I thought you were a dancer, Kat.
Dylan gave up on that years ago.
Well, he asked me to get you 2 tickets to the ballet Thursday.
Oh, did he? I may brush up. I may take some hours of bar work. Do you know a good place?
I'll look into it.
So when do we leave on the bloody tour?
We've got almost 2 weeks. And I'm counting on you, Kat, to see that he keeps his dates and gets her sober. I think the tour should be very successful with Dylan's collected poems coming out last month and going so well.
Yeah, that should be a help, shouldn't it? I'm going to keep a diary of the tour and sell it to Angus Marys when we get back. I can't trust Dylan. He's a perennial hole in his pocket. I want to take ourselves and the kids off to Mallorca. We all need a vacation from struggling.
God, look, there's an Augustus John. Wow, 1936 portrait of a lady. Well, listen, why don't we get back down to the main lobby? Dylan and Angus should be turning up any minute now. What is it, Kat?
It's me, John. It's me. 16 years ago. Dylan Thomas, you should meet Miss Kat McNamara. Good morning, Mr. Thomas. I've read all your poetry. You're all the rage of London now. I'm the rage of the world, Miss McNamara, but everyone from T.S. Eliot to the chimney sweep calls me Dylan. Cat's my nickname. Ugh, I hate cats. Perhaps because I've never had one of my own. Would you like to marry me, Cat? When, Dylan? This afternoon? This afternoon would be fine, but as near to late in the day as we can, as I believe in a decent period of courtship. I have that memorized.
Yes, of course, it's you. Wow.
Too late, you didn't know me. I'm like the cliff back in Wales the boathouse backs onto, weathered to the edge of collapse. Well, it isn't everyone's youth gets hung in a Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Cat, will you be my friend?
I'll be yours if you be mine, John. But can I count on you when it counts?
Well, I guess that's what I mean by friend.
And do you know what I mean by counts? I mean when all the young predatory American witches fallen in delicate positions at his feet. Are you going to help me or play bystander whose business it suddenly isn't? Because I know who I am, and I'm the life of him. The unhappy, quarrelling, domesticated, but very necessary life of him. But what I most fear is some girl in mink or blue jeans or a tailored suit who'll be the death of
Well,
him.
that certainly can't happen if
I turn my back, oh, can't it? Dylan's as susceptible to romance as a weeping widow. When he's keyed up like the readings make him, he aches to unwind. His little excursions to London over the years never concerned me, but the bloody man is at a dangerous age in a country full of hospitable vampires.
I swear to you, I couldn't be more opposed to Dylan's promiscuity if I stood on my head.
I'm not asking you to stand on your head or your butt. I'm asking you to point out smoke before my house goes up in flames.
Well, I don't think, Cat, that I want to be a tattletale or have to insert myself between Dylan and every little arsonist that turns up for an autograph, like a chaperone.
Then don't ask me to be your friend.
God damn, you're just as bad as he is.
Of course. Don't you know I'm the woman Dylan would have been if Dylan had been a woman? That's what I made of me. And it's taken 3 children in the aging years, and you'll never know. And nobody is going to take my place without a fight.
Mr. Hank Williams.
Jambalaya on the bayou. Jambalaya on the bayou. Let's go. Me gotta go, me on my own. Me gotta go for the hero down the bayou.
Oh, God. Oh, God, it can't be true. Cat, wake up.
Oh, John, if we're still in Texas.
They're running along back. Stab us in the back. Get up.
Oh, we forgot to set it. Jesus, Dylan.
Get up. We've got to catch the damn bus to New Orleans by 6.
Where are we in the name of God?
We're in Houston.
No, we were in Houston last week.
We're in Austin and they all look alike. Shite, I stubbed my toe.
Hate America.
Will you get up? It's Tuesday. There's going to be 4,000 people at $2.50 a head at the Municipal Auditorium in New Orleans tomorrow night, and you'll languish in there like a doctor with a Queen of Sheba.
Go to hell. They're going to make me lie forever on this mattress.
Oh, Christ, my wristwatch isn't working. What time does yours say?
5:10.
Oh, great.
I'm not ticking.
Oh, great.
First in the bathroom.
Oh, you don't have as much to do in there as I do. Oh, shite, I'll just start packing and shave in here. Cat, why do you have to spread us over the whole bloody hotel room every time we move into one?
We have to make a nest for us, don't I?
Yeah, a nest in Wales is a sight to behold. I think you'll do it to drive me out of my bloody mind. My God, what a beard I've got.
Sleep, we never get any sleep on this bloody door.
Say, this is Tuesday, isn't it?
Last night was Monday night, so yeah, it has to be Tuesday.
Of course. It's a peculiar lack of light out today. It's almost like there's a tropical storm brewing or something. It's dark out.
It's probably still Monday night.
Yes, I feel as if it were. Oh, I see it now. It's dawn. We've got tons of time. I can see the sun rising over there in the west. Not a bad party, though, they gave us after last night's reading.
I never would have thrown that book at you if you hadn't thrown the lamp.
Worst of it was, after we told them all to go to hell and slammed the door, having to go back and borrow cab fare.
Well, it was either that or not have enough for the bus to New Orleans.
Damn Brinnin, sending us that ridiculous wire, lest you forget. As if we couldn't get from Dallas to New Orleans without being prodded like pigs every inch of the way.
And he didn't even send us any money to get there with dirty Brennan.
Dirty Brinnin. He's kept a shamefully loose grip on this tour is all I can say. I mean, he has no right to assume that we've got money without first checking with us.
Yeah, but he should have written him weeks ago.
Who's had time to write letters? I'll call him after breakfast. My God, I'm starved. I feel as if I haven't eaten in 2 days. Well, tour's nearly over and we don't have a nickel to show for it. I must say it's really different this time with you along. It's bloody worse.
I didn't ship $200 worth of toys across the Atlantic Ocean.
No, you shipped our dirty laundry from Chicago to San Francisco for $40.
And I'd do it again. I don't want to go to New Orleans. I want to go home to Wales.
You listen to me a minute. Our way of life is a nut house. I've seen a different way of life in my travels, and if you push me too far, Cat, I'd be forced to take it. And it doesn't include you.
Cat, you're the only girl for me. Yeah, am I?
Loving you has nothing to do with it. I've got to bloody support you even if I have to leave you to do it. Now, New Orleans will make it up to us. There's profit there. And then there's Washington, D.C.
I'll go home without you. Who is she?
You can't. Don't you understand? We don't even have the fare to leave the bloody country.
I've got such a headache.
So do I. Look, don't fold everything together. Just throw it all together. Come, sit on this case with me. I don't understand how without so much as an added bloody Kleenex, these things get thicker and thicker every time you pack them.
I don't want to sit in the suitcase, Dylan.
Oh, Caitlin, don't cry. Don't cry. I'll take care of you. Look, I'm at a huge turning point in my life. It just isn't easy for a fool like me to adjust, but I'm doing the best that I can.
That's not why I'm crying, Dylan.
Well, why are you crying, Cat? I'm listening.
Because the sun doesn't rise on the west.
You're right. It's getting darker. It's Tuesday evening!
It's after 6 o'clock, Dylan! That means we missed our bus! Goodbye, New Orleans!
Not so fast. Not so fast. It's about 8 or 8:30. We'll wire Brinnin for money and we'll catch a flight. Hello, room service. What time do you have? 8:30! Excellent! Excellent. Hold the phone, please. I'd like to order dinner for 2. Now, Cat, what would delight your sea change palate? Strictly American cuisine, of course. How's about a deboned, defeathered, defrosted hot dog under glass? Washed down with a nice jumbo-sized paper cup of fermented Coke? Or would you like some Chinese food flown in from Pittsburgh?
Ask room service what day it is, Dylan, while you're at it.
Hello, room service. This is Tuesday evening, of course. It's Wednesday evening! It's Wednesday evening and 8:30! It can't be that! I've got 4,000 people waiting for me at the municipal auditorium in New Orleans! Yes, I was!
Give up! Hang up! Why shouldn't we call the municipal auditorium?
And say what? Go home, we're 1,000 miles to the west of you.
Why shouldn't we call Brinnin?
Oh, poor Brinnin.
Poor Brinnin. Well, there's one consolation. Things can't get any worse.
I don't know. There's still Washington, D.C.
Oh, we still have time to get there.
That's the spirit. Set your watch.
And precious few great patrons, Elena.
I hope he likes me.
Elena, he's hoping you like him.
Agnes, it appears we have an uninvited guest. Your assistant is her improbable story.
Who's minding the store?
Who cares? Every spring I get a compulsion to see a cherry blossom. Aren't you going to introduce me?
Oh, well, Miss Stewart, Mr. and Mrs. Anto.
A fantastic addition. I'll have Charles bring you some champagne. Miss Stewart, you just hang on. I shall return, as was said by only the greatest man this country's ever bred, and then got kicked in the pants.
Who could that be, I wonder?
Oh, Mr. Anton's probably referring to General Douglas MacArthur. Whenever Mr. Anton's use of the third-person masculine gender is in question, why, it's General Douglas MacArthur. As sure as shoot.
Your dress?
This old thing? Yes.
You know, Mrs. Anton's prepared to give Dylan some money.
Oh, boss, you don't really trust me.
I have spies. radar and hidden cameras.
You also know I've talked to him 3 times this week and called it off.
1 time calls it off. 3 times says you don't mean it.
Worry about Caitlin, more to the point.
I also thought you were Caitlin's friend.
Wouldn't you be surprised if I turned out to be an influence toward making their marriage work?
I would raise both my eyebrows, Meg, for the first time in my life.
What does he have to do for the money?
Just be friendly. And we're all going to look the other way,
So friendly, we all have to look the other way.
Meg, you got here great.
I wired Kat and she thought I might come down for Friday's party and Saturday's reading.
That was thoughtful.
I told her she should come at this. She might meet a rich bloody politician here at DC.
What's Dylan up to up there?
Fussing over his bow tie. Won't be helped. Shut all his time criticizing me as to how I'm turned out. He's a little nervous tonight.
Kat, you're beautiful.
Exquisite.
I don't know why, but I've never gotten over the idea that a party means something extraordinary, exciting, and wonderful is going to happen. Well, Don Juan will be down and on.
No, Kat.
I agreed. I agreed to look the other way, and I agreed not to drink. Do I also have to agree to be agreeable?
Get out of the way, I'm coming down the banister.
Don't tell me he's already...
Lunch.
I probably don't slide as well as I used to.
You're overloaded, that's why.
Unkind, unkind, I'm in full possession of myself. I'm simply graced to meet the occasion is all.
Dylan, Meg is here.
Yes. Hello, Meg.
Hello, Dylan.
Well, well. Shall we go join the merry throng, huh? I hear the tinkle of ice and the rending rip of reputations.
Well, how do you want to go in there, Cat? On my arm or over my shoulder?
Meg?
What are you babbling about, Meg? What does that mean, Meg?
Oh, what a bloody fool I am. How unworthy of your rattled is my naivety.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think I'll have a drink. One won't kill me.
If you listen to me a minute, if you ruin our one chance to get the money to take us to Mallorca to patch our poor marriage back together again, I'll never forgive you. We'll be through, that'll be it. Because I made 2 killing profitless trips to America and I can't do it again. Now this tonight can be the straw that'll break the camel's back. I'm doing this for us!
Well, I've introduced you to 3 people in there already, and where are you, dear
Make
boy?
way, everybody, make way. I want to get my motion picture camera and take some footage of Dylan. Oh, hello there, Dylan. I'll be right back down. Hello there, Mrs. Thomas. My.
I want to explain.
How is he? Good, is he?
Last year. It's by Phidias or Practilis. I'm one of those early Greek chiselers. Do you know Miss Stewart? Oh, of course you must.
Betty, where's my camera?
Under his nose. I can't come up and find it for you, J. Henry. I'm talking to Dylan.
Are you from the southern states, Miss Anton?
Memphis, Greek, Wesley, Republican, Elena. Let's sit on the staircase and get acquainted, shall we? Isn't this a wonderful terrace staircase? Yes. It was torn out of a state in Northern Ireland and imported to Georgia prior to the Civil War. Then we tore it out of Georgia in 1928 and brought up here to the capital. They say soldiers have died on it, women have given birth on it, and grooms have carried their brides up the nuptial rites of it. And since we've had it, Herbert Hoover's climbed it twice. So let's have the great poet sit on it.
Delighted.
I don't want to have to plunge into that stuffy old party yet. Do you?
Excuse me.
She's too polite, that girl. Her silence is shrieking. She's got something deep on her mind.
Look, Angus tells me that you're...
There's a Supreme Court justice over there. He's playing the piano. He wants to see it.
We must all meet with justice. We'll talk later. Now you stand up tall, Dylan. Tag, you're it. You take my arm and be led to the slaughter.
Oh, hey, Brinnin, hang on there. Now, hang on there. How would you like to hold on to these hot lights while I get all this down in an imperishable record of film?
Mr. Anton, may I have a word with you? I just had a spur-of-the-moment idea I'd like to discuss with you.
Oh, yeah, sure. Shoot, what's the problem?
Dylan's flat broke.
I thought he'd be cleaning up.
Well, he had a lot of past debts.
You just can't hang on to it, these artistic types. You know, somebody ought to go in the arts and make an industry out of it.
It's a small but sizable amount. About $5,000 would do.
Yeah, well, I'd like to be of service, but you know, hard cash is really hard to come by, and I'm completely aware of how cruel that remark must sound.
Well, Dylan will pay it back. He's got a book of short stories he's planning for.
You know, it's always been my observation that you loan money to a man, you lose a friend. Why just soon give it to him and, you know, let him have it?
Well, the situation is pretty desperate, sir.
Brennan, when you need money, you're always desperate. Well, what can you do? You're always desperate. But then, let's face it, you know, if he doesn't get it from me, he'll get it from somewhere.
It's true. Well, actually, there is a married woman who's offered it, but it's a little degrading, and I do have to
If she's discreet, her husband will never know. And if she's halfway cute, Brendan may even, Dylan may even enjoy the transaction. By God, I wish I could get a whole day's work done without having to get out of bed. But it's all relative. It's all relative. You know, it was only 2 days ago I was so desperate to get my hands on $20 million, you'll never know. Now, when was I going to get $20 million? Yeah, well, I got it. P.S. From the mafia, if you're interested. Yeah. Well, if you quote me, I'll just deny it. There is no mafia. Well, there you go. What are you going to do? Yeah, but Dylan is a worthy person, a famous man, great poet. Well, let me think on it. After all, you know, $5,000 is such a small sum. It'd be easier if he needed $1 million, right?
Darling Daddy Warbucks for the money?
Why not?
Well, Elena is practically in the palm of our hand.
How fun can you help us?
Now, how many children did you say you had?
3.
Well, that's a lot of shoes.
Oh, hello, Angus. Isn't it a posh party? Isn't it a far cry from our boathouse in Wales, Brennan?
Would you like to see my boathouse? Yeah. Well, how about it, Brennan? Would you like to come out and see the Potomac in the moonlight?
I've seen it.
Oh, Bren, you're such a sourball. It's a party.
Now that's the spirit. Well, Miss Thomas, you are an extraordinarily beautiful woman.
Well, I'm glad somebody noticed.
Well, I did.
John, come join the party here, boy. I must be 5 drinks up on you.
Dylan, I've just spoken to Mr. Anton about getting the money for you, and he's considering it.
That's a laugh. Too bad you can't tell him it's self-protection. That's if ever I can get that blasted woman alone long enough to ask her. Have you seen Cataract?
Well, she just went out to look at the Potomac with Mr. Anton. Oh, come on.
She's higher than a kite. If that old goat lays his foul fist got fingers on her, I'll bust his pompous head
Easy,
open.
Dylan, easy. I'll go join them. Just hang on to your purpose.
God damn it, it's a war of wills. A bloody woman fights me at every
Well, you
time.
can make it a bed of roses for her, Dylan.
I'll put an end to this once and for all.
Dylan, you've got an empty glass, Dylan. Sit down on the steps with your empty glass and let 5 minutes go by without pouring alcohol into your bloodstream.
Maybe you're right. You have to be clear-headed, don't I?
Please. I'll catch up with Kat. She's fun some dinner.
Is Dylan Thomas at this party?
No.
I crashed the wrong party. You don't know where he is, do you?
He's in Wales.
Isn't he going to read tomorrow night in Washington?
No, they're using a recording. His wife's going to get up and mouth the words.
Will that work?
You'll never notice the difference.
Excuse me. Peter, you'll never guess what I just heard.
There you are, Percy Bly Shelley.
Alone, at last. On the steps of the Library of Congress, I imagine.
I hear you need a little pot of gold, honey. How much?
Yes. 5,000. I can pay it back by within a year's
You
certain.
pay it back anytime you can. I'll give you a check.
When? I keep losing you.
Now, where?
What do you mean where?
I mean, we ought to go someplace private. Somebody might misconstrue.
Where would you suggest?
My bedroom. That'll be good. We could lock the door.
2 people can lock a door without doing anything more to it than that?
Oh, I admire the pants off of you.
Oh, I like you too, Elena. I I'm terribly taken with you.
Would you like me if I didn't have a penny to my name?
Oh, most definitely.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Come.
Eleanor, give me a little bit of time with Dylan. I want to talk to him.
Gee, Henry, just when he was flirting with me outrageously. Dylan? Green check?
Check.
Dylan, Brinnin has set down the fact that you might be a little embarrassed, the financial straits and all. He's not out of line, is he?
No, I do need some cash fairly quickly.
Well, you know, I can't make heads or tails of your poems, but I mightily like the way you read them. Yeah, I do. Well, tell me now, what's your politics over there?
Politics?
Oh, yeah, you know, the Whigs versus the Tories or whatever goes on over there.
Ah, my politics.
Yes.
I see what you mean. Anti-Stalinist.
How do you mean?
I mean that I'm in favor of the worker as opposed to the exploiting bosses. I'm in favor of feeding the hungry, curing the ill, doing away with all armaments everywhere, and breaking down borders between people. I'd also like to do away with money. And do you happen to know a nice Negro girl that I could marry my son off to?
And no wonder you're broke! You sound like a communist sympathizer! How the hell did you ever get a passport to come into this country?
All the Democrats in Congress got together and snuck me in.
Yeah, well, I believe it! I believe it! Where's that Brinnin? Where's that Agnes guy? God damn it! God damn it!
Brinnin, you're a spoil sport.
Brinnin J. Henry's hunting high and low for you.
Did you talk?
We had a very pleasant chat about politics.
Oh my God.
I have a marvelous idea. Why don't you get the filthy money from Meg? That way you won't have to split your focus. Why are you staring at me?
Whatever happened to that lovely girl I met at Augustus John's studio that day?
I think I'm going to dance.
You can't dance!
I can dance! You used to love to watch me dance. I have reminded certain people of Isadora Duncan from time to time.
Yeah, Isadora Duncan, too goddamn drunk to dance!
Where the S.H.I.T. do you think you're going?
Caitlin!
I dare hear it! The promise to pay to get laid!
Caitlin! You forgot the promise of it! The money was for my Yorker! I'll kick you down these stairs!
Riot! I can kill you, Dylan, and you know it!
Like that!
I hate you! I'm me. I smoke too much. I drink too much. I never like to have to go to bed, and when I do, I never like to have to get up. I sleep with women. I'm not much on men. And necrophilism, that's with dead bodies, leaves me cold. I never watch the clock, and it doesn't pay much attention to me. I write poems, and I read them out loud. I lie, I cry, I laugh, I cheat, I steal when I can. I must have an iron constitution, as I've been abusing it for years to an extent that would kill a good horse in a matter of hours. I love people, rich and poor people, dumb as well as smart people, people who like poetry and people who've never heard of poetry. I'm life's most passionate, most devoted, most shameless lover. I must be. And I like a good party and a good time, and lots of applause and pats on my back, and pots and hats full of jack, which I then like to spend without stinting. Comforts make me comfortable. Nails in my shoe, and grit in my eye, and ache in my tooth do not. I've lived in a time when men have turned Jews into soap. And I've been, I must tell you, ever since those days, a wee bit confused about the godly nature of the human creature. But no more confused than anyone I've ever met or heard of. Because I'm me. And I know me.
I've sung a few songs in 39 years just for the pleasure of singing. But now I've come to a point in my life, well, where I think I've got something to say. I think it's something about having the guts to thumb your nose up at the social shears that clip the wings of the human heart in this mushrooming, complex, cancerous age. I'm hot for fireworks in the dull of night. I want the factual killing world should go back to fancy kissing for its livelihood. I'm about to write an opera with Stravinsky. A play on my own. My first. It's called Under Milkwood. And I've been offered to play the lead in a play on Broadway. Things are looking up. But I've been spitting up a lot of blood lately. I'm blacking out more than I'm used to. I think I might have been a touch of the DTs this past week as, well, I've started seeing little things that aren't there. Mice, for example. Miss Meg Stewart, my friend, suggested that I come and see you, Doctor, as, well, it's entirely possible and not a little ironic that now that things are finally looking up, that I'm dying.
Mr. Thomas, you're lucky you're not dead.
Oh, God.
Wet brain, that's the popular term for it. An insult to the brain of too much alcohol over too long a period of time. The little cells floating around in the grey matter, they're shorting out like an electrical circuit. Those are your blackouts. If too many more of them pop, you've had it.
You mean I'm exploding by degree like a star?
Do you really want to live, Mr. Thomas?
Oh, yes.
One would never know it. You have a wife and 3 children?
Yes, my wife is back in Wales.
Why don't you go back to them?
No.
Mr. Thomas, you take one more drink. Small drink. A beer. A sip. You'll have committed suicide as surely as if you jumped off the side of a cliff. Put a gun to your head and pulled the trigger, or swallowed a suitcase full of barbiturates. Now, those are the ground rules. How you want to play the game is entirely up to you. Your life is in your hands. According to what I read in Time magazine, you're reported to be the greatest lyric poet of the 20th century. Doesn't that obligate you?
I'm not very good at obligations.
Are you a great poet, Mr. Thomas?
I don't know. I'm me. I'm just me.
Down here in the basement, I think he's almost finished.
Oligata cries longingly, and I shall never have such loving again.
Okay, good. Let's go. The auditorium's full up there.
You're right there, right there. Hello, Brinnin. I'm just reading this over.
Good God, you swore you'd be all through writing at the afternoon I'll have for Boston. What have you been doing for 2 days?
Brewing it, stewing it, putting in comments. Meg, darling, another Coke for the good boy.
Really on the wagon, I see.
Yes, world of good for me. I'm a completely new chap. My arm's a pincushion from the doctor's shots, and I'm taking pills that were made for elephants, and I'm sick to death of Coca-Cola, but I'm alive after a
How much
fashion.
has it got to go?
Dylan, how near done are you?
A few pages.
Okay, listen, for the sake of the purpose of the reading right now, why don't I just state that it's incomplete and you can find
No, I've got to finish.
The natives are restless.
Let them wait 5
The
minutes.
cast, though, Dylan, is pretty nervous upstairs. They know they're going to get new pages handed to them at the last second.
Look, they're professional actors. They're going to have pages in front of them on the rostrums. It's a reading. It's not a Broadway production. And they're all one-syllable words besides.
I was sure we were placed thrown together at the last second.
Look, will you stop worrying? I'm reading 6 characters myself. What the hell is that?
1,000 people stamping their feet. It's almost 9 o'clock.
Dylan, come on!
Patience now. can't see John. Go up and tell him that I'm all present, just sober, full of 16 hours sleep from last night. I've only got to write curtain and I'll be up in the spot now.
Well, I'm not going to let them know the thing's being written 10 seconds before they hear it.
Why not? Create an air of spontaneity.
I'll give a long introduction. 2 minutes, Meg. Done and
I'll be there.
Tell him that I met my master and my mistress and turned over a new leaf.
How can I help?
There's a matchbook here somewhere with 2 lines written on it.
Here, this one?
No, it's the Reverend Eli Jenkins' sunset prayer at the very end of the play, just before the time's about to go to sleep.
Hotel Algonquin?
No, I think it was Minetta's I was in. Having a glass of milk.
Here, every morning when I wake, dear Lord, a little prayer.
That's it. Every morning when I wait. Shut the pencil, broke. God
Here's
damn
something
it.
nice and sharp. Where's the rest of the prayer?
It's in here someplace. Look, I can't write it fast enough.
I'll get it in shorthand. Go.
Every morning when I wake, dear Lord, a little prayer I make. Oh, please to keep thine loving eye on we, poor creatures born to die.
Good enough.
No, there's more,
You
there's
can
more,
do it
there's
on the
more.
platform.
Whether we last the night or no, I'm sure as always touch and go.
Sure as always, touch and go.
We are not wholly bad nor good. We live our lives under Milkwood. Got it!
Got it.
Oh, Christ, where are my opening pages? I left them in the cab yesterday. They're the only copy I've got. The blessed copy, there they are. Oh, who spelled coffee on that? Is my dicky bear okay?
Terrible tasting crooked. Come on.
Hey. What am I going to do at the party afterwards when everybody's drinking?
I'm going to meet a famous man in the corner, Dylan, with a glass of soda water in his hand.
God, thank you. Thank you, Meg. I feel I've got a hell of a chance.
Caitlin! Hello!
Is that you, Angus?
I'm in London on business. I trained out to see you. I'm going to be back in New York for Christmas.
Oh, don't come up. The house is a wreck. I'll just get my coat and take you to Brown's for a decent drink.
Now hurry up!
Get some more on those branches there. He'll be angry we didn't wait for him, but that's just too bad.
Did he say where?
If you mean as he at the horse, maybe, but he's sipping Coke if he is. That's law.
Joseph, I haven't seen him in a month of Sundays. I hope he understands. If he's going to live here year-round, I've got to earn a living.
It's been a month of Sundays. Quiet, pasting the good reviews of Under Milkwood in his scrapbook. 8 hours beauty, lots of milk. Dickens and Bartok, and the only living alarm clock in captivity, me.
Terrific for him, Meg.
We forgot to put the star on. Do the honors, would you, while the man of the house is absent?
Bless you, Caitlin. So this is Dylan's Corner, Wales, at last.
There's a shack over there where he scribbles himself half blind. How is the bloody man? Is he coming home for Christmas?
Well, he's... You know, the good reading of Under Milkwood was a real springboard for him. That was an offer for this, plans for that, the future's bright.
He's not coming home for Christmas.
Ah, but surprise! I come bearing good tidings from Dylan. Oh,
One of Brinnan's blue envelopes. It better be money.
a check for $1,000. Count the zeros. Now, what's the matter? Shock to the nervous system?
Don't talk to me for a minute, please.
I am not as incompetent as Angus Marius thinks. There we go. Well, oh,
Angus
see
is
that?
going... It's nice. Angus is going to visit Cat in Wales. I removed $1,000 from Dylan and sent it along with him.
I bet that'll be welcome, the expensive time of the year.
Let's have eggnog, shall we? You stay there, grow beer. Take me a second.
Boy, we haven't seen you, Dylan, in a dog's age.
I'd like 18 whiskies, please.
Off the wagon?
And a Coke. I just want to look at 18 whiskies. That's the world's record, you know.
Boy, you are an original.
I'll bring him home.
Could I loan you a very new handkerchief? I thought you'd be delighted as apple pie.
Is he still at the Chelsea or has he moved in with company?
Meg, is Dylan still at the Chelsea?
Absolutely.
He's still on the register, Cat.
Here you go, Mr. Thomas. Take a long look, but don't jump in. The water's awful.
Right.
So this is how we're going to finish it, in a warring absence.
I don't know where he can be.
Well, here's to Dylan. Wherever he is, there are no tears.
I'll buy that.
Come on, Cat. No more tears. Blow your nose. It's just a temporary alliance. It's probably going to do a world of good.
That bloody chick is such a hollow wonder.
God, outstanding eggnog. Listen, why don't we call the horse?
I have to trust him, John.
Then let me call.
I want to be the drunkest man in the world.
I have the curious sense I'll never see him in this world again.
Nonsense.
Hello, this is John Malcolm Brinnin. Guess who I'm looking for? He is. Please, he's there.
I tell you, you'd really be extremely proud of him, Cat. He stopped drinking. He's a man coming into his own in every sense.
Without me. Without me.
No, you made a mistake. I'm not here. It's not really here that I am anyway.
See if he seems sober. I don't want to get on with him, but if he's had a drink, we'll catch a cab down there immediately. Don't tell him that.
Yes.
Let's go to Brown's and have a Christmas cheer. We'll drink to Dylan. What do you say?
You look at the pyramids. I'll look at the Bible.
Thank you. I don't believe him. Now he says it was somebody who looked like him.
Oh my God, let's get out of here. I'll grab my coat.
Okay, I'll just put the lights on the Christmas tree. I know somehow he'll come back. Hales is his home. He loves Christmases. He's like a little boy about it. I think that somehow at the last minute he'll find a way to come back.
That's the way to look at it. Dylan knows what's best for you.
I should have invited him to America.
Dylan? Dylan?
Christmas. 39. 29. 19. 10. Christmas. Hit him with a snowball. Look at your footprints. People are going to think there was hippos here. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Jim. Dan. Jack. And me. I wonder if the fishes ever get to see the snow. That's the brightest star over all of Wales. Good night. Good night. Oh, Father in heaven. Oh, Mother of God, bless, curse me now from that sad height. I love you, but I'm all alone. The rage of the world. Half compromise, half lie. I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
I apologize for the Atlantic in the wintertime.
I'd like to see where the bloody dead man's kept.
Yes, ma'am. It's this way. The ship's manifest said he was in cargo hold number 10.
I'm no good at grief. I just can't seem to be pleasant about it. Is that it? Is he in that?
Yes, ma'am. There's a tag on it with a number.
It's not a number or a total lack of numbers. I can never remember. How unlucky he is to be the first to go. Who here knows my husband, Dylan Thomas, the poet?
Do not go gentle into that good night.
Yes. Old age should burn in rage at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night.
Do you know the damn thing by heart?
Oh, some of it now. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay.
Taking him back to the Green Bay.
Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Excuse me, I need to get back.
Yes, thank you. Isn't it funny? All the years, days, nights, watching him lying there with his arms folded. I used to say to myself, well, I'm not married to a man at all. I'm married to a child. But you'll come off better than any of us in 1,000 years, Dylan. And you planned it too. Dirty Dylan.
I am a